Hey guys, in the previous videos we have been discussing loops in C language. We have already discussed for loops and while loops. You can check the previous videos. And in today's video we are going to discuss the do while loop. So in this video we will discuss the syntax, flowchart, the working and one example based on do while loop. So let's have a look at the syntax first. So let's have a look at the syntax. Since we are discussing the do while loop, in the syntax we can see first we have the do keyword followed by this curly brace or bracket, and within these two brackets, one here and the other here, we have our statements, statement 1 for example, then statement 2, as many as we want, and these statements are executed at least once, unlike the other loops. And after these statements we have the increment of the loop counter, and you know the increment is usually like this, I plus plus. And once this happens, immediately following the second curly bracket we have the while keyword and two braces, and within these braces we have the condition on which the iterations depend. So for how long the loop will run depends on this condition. So now the thing to be noted is that the condition is tested after the loop is executed. The statements in the loop are executed at least once, because we have the do keyword, then we have these statements, and then we have the increment, and following that we have the condition. Unlike the while loop and the for loop, where we have where we test the condition first and then we execute the statements. This is not the case with do while loop. Here the statements inside the body of the loop are executed at least once and then the condition is tested. So let's have a look at the flowchart of this do while loop. So this is the flowchart, and as we enter the loop, first we have the do keyword, and then we have the code inside the body of the while loop. It is executed once, and after that we check the condition. If the condition is false, we simply come out of the loop like the previous loops we discussed, for loop and while loop. If the condition is true, then the loop keeps on going on and on until the condition is false. And one thing to be noted is that the increment of the loop counter is included inside the body of the do while loop, unlike the for loop. So let's do a simple program to test this. So for example, we have a program to let me zoom in a bit. So for example, we have the program to print the first 300 numbers. I'll write, not integers, numbers, whole numbers actually. So we have a program to display the first 301 whole numbers, and we have the printf statement to display this message. Then we initialize the loop counter here outside the body of the do while loop. Then we have the do keyword, curly braces, our statement which is to print I, the increment of the loop counter. After that we have the condition. So let's run this thing. So as you can see, it's simply we printed 299. We printed the numbers from 0 to 299. If we want to print along with 300, then we will insert a equal to sign after the less than sign. So the condition becomes I should be less than or equal to 300. Then we have it from 0 to 300. But one interesting thing is, if I set the condition to it should be less than or equal to 0, then let's see what happens. Obviously it just printed 0. Okay, now what if I remove this? What if I put the condition I should be less than 0? What will happen? Since the counter was initialized to 0 once and the condition was checked after the loop was after the statements inside the loop were run at least once, so the output would be still 0. And interestingly, this doesn't match our condition, but since this is how the do while loop works, it executes the statements at least once before checking the condition. So we have this thing here. Even if I write if I initialize I to 10 and I have the condition that I should be less than 0, so 10 will still get printed once because the condition gets checked after these statements are executed. So this is the difference between the while loop, for loop, and the working of the do while loop. So there's one thing about the loops which we should know, which is the nesting of loops. So what is this nesting of loops? So the thing is, we can nest one loop inside other, or more than one loops inside one loop. So one or more than one loops can be nested inside the same loop. So what does this mean? For example, consider that this is a loop, this red box here. Let's say this is a for loop, for example. Okay, inside this for loop I can nest another loop like this. So this loop runs, and for each iteration of this outer loop, this loop inside it, which is nested inside it, will run. And we can also nest one more loop inside this loop, which is already nested in this one. So this is the first loop, inside which we have nested another loop, inside which we have nested a third loop. So let's try to see an example. So here we have an example of nesting of loops. As you can see, first I print a message to enter the value of n. I take the value of n from the user. So here's the outer loop, outer for loop, and inside this for loop I have another for loop. So why do I nest this for loop inside this? We will get to know this after we run the program. So as I run it, it asks me for the value of n. Let's enter 7. And once I do that, it prints this in this sort of matrix form. It's a 7 by 10 matrix. So in order to take the input from the user, this was for the number of rows, of course. In order to display it like this, I needed to run a for loop inside a for loop. Now why did I need to do this? As you can see, I have this row. So for each row, I needed the outer for loop, but for each column, I needed the inner for loop. This is one of the situations where the nesting of loops is required. So we have discussed the while loops, the do while loops, and the for loop. This is pretty much it for today. Hope you found this video useful. If you found this video useful, leave a like, otherwise leave a dislike. Thank you.